Okay, welcome back to 247 Evil Garage. I'm out here today and I'll be on my soapbox a little bit, and I got a few things to say about selling cars. And this one in particular, the Camaro you're looking at. I bought this car about a year ago, and I've got some videos I made of the car, bringing it home and getting it cleaned up from my usage in the last spring. And it was an original, very low kilometer car, but because of different reasons, I determined that I probably don't need the car. It wasn't going to get used a lot. I probably should try selling it. So I did list it for sale in the spring, summer, and that didn't go as expected. Now, I did price the car fairly high, but then there was all kinds of questions as to, was that the original mileage and all kinds of other nonsense. And the condition of the car, it was stored, and it could have used a buff and a polish, which I did. But neither here nor there. Now, I had a few interested parties looking at it, but it always came down to some fly in the ointment. For example, I've got the dual exhaust in this car, not the center exhaust, that was an issue. The paint wasn't shiny enough. Well, it's polished now, but, that type of stuff. And all minor stuff, but that's fine. I mean, I can understand someone comes, looks at it, they don't like the car for whatever reason, you pass on it. But to question my integrity as a seller as to the mileage, well, I've got documentation to show all the service that was done to the car prior to storage, and yet still there was all kinds of questions. Is that the original kilometers? Of course it is. And I did put on my ad after a while. I got tired of people texting me, sending me messages. Calls only, phone calls only. And that, people don't read the ad. So read the ad thoroughly. Phone calls only. Well, apparently people cannot read, but I did get some phone calls. I did have some interested parties in the car, but it did not get sold this year. Now we're getting into December of 2023, so clearly not the time to sell a car like this. And I've kind of gotten a little weary of trying to sell the car and dealing with people. And I've been selling cars for decades. Usually I have a summer car or something that I'm working on, and I'll drive it for a little bit, or something comes up, I want to buy something else, so I'll sell this vehicle. Well, this car here, it is truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity car for anybody who's interested in buying it, but that's lost on most buyers. Put it this way, this is it. You're not going to find a car with this low kilometer anywhere else. I don't think anywhere else in North America. I mean, possibly maybe there's another one stored somewhere. I don't know. But this is one of those once-in-a-lifetime cars. But it's finding the right buyer, and that hasn't happened. And so with that in mind, I've given up. Frankly, I've had enough, and I'm just going to keep the car and just drive it. I mean, I do have a Mach 1, and I could drive that, but this is too nice a car just to kind of give away, and I'm not going to find another one this clean. So come next spring, I'll be doing regular maintenance on it, as I always have, did this year, and I'll be driving it. And the heck with anybody else who might want to buy it. It's not going to be for sale. That's what it's going to get down to. The climate to sell cars these days has swung drastically the other way. Back during the COVID days, it was fairly easy to sell a car. These days, very difficult. And I mean, interest rates have gone up, and some people have to borrow money to buy a car like this. I don't know who would do that. I certainly did not. But be that as it may, car's off the market. I'm not going to sell it. I've gotten really just tired of dealing with people and dealing with nonsense and bidding without seeing the car. That's my least favorite thing. The messages are sent, and then all of a sudden there's an offer made without even looking at the car. What the hell has happened? Usually when I go buy a car, I actually call the person, show up, look at it, inspect it, take a thorough view of the vehicle, and then decide if I want it or not. And then the bargaining begins in earnest. And of course there's going to be bargaining. I understand that. That's the nature of selling and buying. I'm not immune to that particular logic. But what I don't understand is people making cold bids online. If you ask a certain price and they just throw out a number, like, it's ridiculous. These days, I think people spend too much time on the internet, too much time sitting on their devices, and not enough time actually getting out and kicking the tires, so to speak. And I did have a few tire kickers and a couple of serious buyers, but again, they had their reasons why they chose to pass in the car or whatever, and that's fine. I'm not saying that the car will always be in my possession, but at this particular point in my life, I don't need to sell it. I'm not going to sell it. And I've just kind of given up on the whole nonsense of trying to sell things. And this goes not just for cars. This goes for anything you're selling, whether it be on Marketplace or Kijiji. There's a number of really disturbed individuals out there trying to, I don't know, work some kind of deal or whatever without actually come look at the item. So it's craziness. And the hoops that they want you to jump through, these prospective buyers, is ridiculous. The car is what it is. It's not misrepresented. It's low kilometers. Nothing's been tampered with. It's all original. Probably the cleanest car anywhere, like I said, but yet I still run into these knuckleheads, and I'm sort of tired of it. So that's my little turn on the soapbox today. Is it worth trying to sell a car privately these days? No, it's frankly not. And it gets even more ridiculous when you're trying to trade a vehicle in. I have one of my daughters is buying a new vehicle, and she's currently contemplating trading in her current vehicle, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. The dealership's got to make $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 on each sale. It's like, what the heck? You know, it's ridiculous. You trade a car in for 20 grand, and they're going to put it in the lot the next day for 28,000, and you say, oh, that's business. They got their overhead. That's bullshit. Okay, that's bullshit. All right, like just let's face it. You know, yet I as a seller have to accept offers that are $9,000, $10,000 less than what I'm trying to sell the car for. Well, my point is that I'm not going to do it, and good luck. So with that said, I will remove myself from the soapbox. I've got another video coming up shortly. I'll be working on a TV refurb. I've got a 55-inch LG TV, which crapped itself the other day. And I've got some LED lights coming from China, so I'll be installing that. I may make a video on that soon. But for the rest of the month, we're getting into the so-called holiday season. And I'll be focusing on that and dusting my Camaro and keeping it clean for myself for next spring, because here it's going to stay. I don't believe it's going to sell, and I don't really care if it does. Wow, that was a lot. Okay, I'm off this soapbox again. Telling you, until next time. If you enjoyed the video, click like and subscribe. I do appreciate that. And until next time again, I'll see you.